It's a little Woody Guthrie. I'm going to do one that I made a few years ago, sitting out by the riverside. And this one's a real true story. Today I met a country girl, had freckles on her face. She was sweet and pretty, made my heart race. We talked of philosophy, much was said with eyes. She told me open with a glance, I'm hoping not to cry. And we spun across an empty floor, held her close, and I knew there would be more. I'm getting ready to take on the world. And today I met a country girl, speaking from her heart with a needle in her hand. She takes what is given and sees the master's plan. To make and find a way of life is what I understand. I may live in the city, but I'm writing for the brand. And we spun across a crowded floor, held her close, and I knew there would be more. I'm getting ready to take on the world. And today I kissed a country girl. There's nothing that can stop us but ourselves, 'cause today I loved a country gal. Thank you all very much. There was a contest a few years ago about Don't Mess with Texas, and I entered into the contest hoping to achieve fame and fortune, and I went right downhill. I didn't even make the next round, but I think they really missed out. So I'm going to give y'all my song about Don't Mess with Texas. Clock in at exactly 30 seconds for commercial length. They told me don't mess with Texas when I was born. Can't tolerate litter in any form. A wild land with a spirit free, so dispose of your waste properly. Mama and Daddy and Kinky too. Now if you're messing with Texas, then you ain't true blue. Don't mess with Texas, you can just go on. Don't mess with Texas, it's a home sweet home. Don't mess with Texas, y'all. Thank y'all very much. I try to stay in the Texas songwriter vein, which I'm fortunate to be weaving a part of right now. I've been on the road with Kinky for about 3 days. And I'd like to, I would be curious to see what you guys imagine being on the road with Kinky is like. But I've seen some things. Things you can't imagine. So we're going to do y'all one about the Bluebonnets. I think y'all get some down here in Houston. And they're almost gone, but there's still a few left. So we'll do this one for them, and we'll bring out our pal. I remember the first time I saw you. I knew that I must say hello. The bonnets were blooming around you, and I knew that our love would grow. And I'm blue bonnet blue over you, like a springtime that I can't forget. And I'm blue bonnet blue over you and your love I'll never regret. In the summer we were like lovebirds, singing songs and learning to fly. The autumn leaves started falling to the ground where they lay to die. And I'm blue bonnet blue over you, like a springtime that I can't forget. And I'm blue bonnet blue over you and your love I'll never regret. The frost came quickly on the window of our little mountain cottage home. When I awoke in the darkness to silence, you were gone and I'm all alone. And I'm blue bonnet blue over you, like a springtime that I can't forget. And I'm blue bonnet blue over you and your love I'll never regret. And your love I'll never forget. Thank y'all very much. I know y'all didn't come here to see me, so I'm going to raise this microphone up. I'm going to bring up Kinky Friedman. Y'all make some noise. We'll see if we can bring him out here. Kinky? Thanks, buddy. Step high. Step high. Okay, over here. That way.
Hi, folks. I'm 77 years old, though I read at the 79th year level. What I'm going to do tonight is do a handful of brand new songs that nobody has heard yet. And these songs may irritate some people. But anyway, we'll run this out and see what happens. Yeah.
There you go, King.
How about the, oh, okay,
Which one?
I'll do
Poet?
something, no. I think we'll start with the other and come back. We could try that, but, okay, let's re-entry again. Here we'll do it. I'll do this as a solo. That sounded pretty good earlier.
Thanks, pal.
I'm the star of Captain Midnight's traveling show. Came to this circus many moons ago. My mother's in your storybook, she loved a jungle king. Left me standing all alone inside the center ring. In a bamboo cage I crossed the raging sea. A living page torn clean from history. A hairy, scary, legendary, screaming souvenir. Don't you come too close to me now, don't you come too near. I'm the wild man from Borneo. The wild. You come to see what you want to see. You come to see, but you never come to know. Well, the tattooed lady left the circus train, lost all of her pictures in a rain. I wonder if you're happy, I wonder if you're free. I wonder if you'll ever know the mark you left on me. I'm the wild man from Borneo. The wild. You come to see what you want to see. You come to see, but you never come to know. We come to see what we want to see. We come to see, but we never come to know. There was an incident that happened back in the hell was it? In 1973, I think. And oh yeah, it was. And that's why we may have another problem tonight, where we this thing is feeding back. Who's feeding back over there now? At any rate, I, like many old-timers, Um, I've forgotten a lot of things, and some things I'm very sharp at, and some I forgot them. So what I have here are about a dozen songs that are brand new songs, but that have never been recorded. So some of them will get in, and some others we won't. What is the title of the? No, the other.
Whitney Walton.
No, the last one. One more. I love it. That's it. That's the title. This is really the interesting part of the evening. I got it. Yeah. Beautiful. I see a little dragon on the sea and in the sky. I see her looking at me from the corner of her eye. She was breathing fire and passion into a world that's bound to die. I see a little dragon on the sea and in the sky. And baby, you and I were just two passing trains, one headed for the mountains and the other for the plains. And when the sun is shining, maybe it explains why it is I love you when it rains. 4 roses in the garden, 2 hearts that never mend. Gita is the song of life I'll never hear again. Gita swiped my credit card and went on a shopping spree. From Amazon Marketplace to Anthropology. And baby, you and I were just two passing trains, one headed for the mountains, the other for the plains. And when the sun is shining, maybe it explains why it is I love you when it rains. Yeah, how about the girl and the flies?
Yeah.
All right, we're moving along pretty quickly here. Here's one. Yeah, that would be beautiful. All the songs are not only true, but the people in them, most of them who are gone now. This is one. This is a girl that I never met. And her name was Whitney Walton. I pissed her. Why did we do that? What was the... Oh, no, how did we do the... oh, yeah, I was telling an audience somewhere that the Gold Star program is something that you can get involved very easily just by going to, what is it?
That would be echohill.org.
Yeah, echohill.org. That's right. Yeah. And I like to consider myself, and I couldn't remember the term. I was on some TV show, trying to tell them what I had become, which was, what was it, Will? Win, hold on. Win. You're not Will. Will can be pretty tedious sometimes. But all of us can. What, closer to the mic? Where have I heard that?
Go ahead.
Okay. All right, anyway, thank you. I tossed a lay of, I know we were talking about, that my sister Marcy, she is directing the camp as an independent camp director in America, turning out, so far, she's got 18 different states are sending kids to camp this summer at Echo Hill. So it's a good one. Now, what am I? All right, now we were talking about Whitney Walton.
All of your charitable contributions.
Oh, yeah. Has made me now something I never dreamed of. I'm now a what is it?
Pisanthropist.
A pisanthropist, yeah. Jesus Christ, all right. I tossed a lay of flowers in the sea. I waited for the waves to bring them back to me. I prayed to every fallen angel from above. In lieu of flowers, I send my love. And Whitney Walton has flown away. Whitney Walton has flown away. But somewhere out where the sea winds moan, she's left us all alone. In lieu of flowers, I wrote this song. What Whitney did was splendidly wrong. But everyone's looking for that starfish on the beach, the one that's always out of reach. The Reverend Goat Carson told me once in a bar. He said, between the gutter and the stars, people are what people are. Billy Joel bought her a piano. I bought her a car. But Whitney Walton has flown away. Whitney Walton has flown away. She's somewhere out where the sea winds moan. She's picking up a telephone. You see, Whitney and I, we never met, though we were closer than most lovers ever get. And the love we had, I'll never forget, and I'll never know again. She was famous for not being who she was, yet all of that was very simple because she'd stolen the hearts of many a star. But people are what people are. And Whitney Walton has flown away. Whitney Walton has flown away. Way out where the sea winds moan, she's picking up a telephone. Whitney Walton has flown away. Whitney Walton has flown away. Way out there where the sea winds moan, she's left us all alone. Thank you. You want to try? Yeah. Okay, we're experiencing a little problem. What's going to happen now is Phil is going to try a buttock attack. Well, it's not really. What is it called, Phil? It's
The buttock maneuver?
buttocks enabler is good. Yeah. And what this will do is it will enable me not to have to stand up, because you just can't do it when you pass a certain age. And okay, now we're going to try this. You want to try it along?
I'm ready. Now we got one. We got a helper.
Volunteer?
Volunteer.
Okay. All right. We need somebody up there.
Ready.
Here.
He's right to your left.
Right to your left.
What's your name?
Patrick.
All right,
Sounds
Patrick,
Irish.
big sturdy fellow, are you? Okay.
In my prime.
All right, so.
Just be patient.
All right, we're just gonna see if you're off by about 4 inches here in this thing. It's not a good sign, and not a good thing. All right, so I'll hang on to the guitar, I guess.
Yep.
Okay. All right, guys.
We're ready.
All right, Patrick, you ready?
I'm ready.
We're only going up so far. We're hanging on to the. Well, this is risky for an older person to do anyway. All right. All right, ready?
Ready.
1, 2, 3, and up we go.
We're ready.
All right, so this is ridiculous. Somebody. Let's try it. You can't run them all. So I started to tell you in 76. I went to Bob Dylan's Rolling Thunder Review. I was a member of that thing, and that was great. And we took about a month off for just a little vacation in L.A. And I was at the Troubadour Music Club, and a guy comes in and heads right for me. And he's a skinny kind of guy. He's a guy with a bolo tie, and he looks like a songwriter, you know. And he comes right over to me and says, "Kingster, let me buy you a round." And this guy proceeded to buy me a round for about 2.5 hours. And so I was faced with a big problem, and that was, do I want to tell the truth to the guy about the fact that I've never seen him before in my life? I don't know who the hell he is, you know? I don't think you want to tell somebody that's been even hobnobbing in the men's room in a long line of Peruvian marching powder, which was very fashionable in those days. Anyway, finally I decided the only thing I can do is to tell the truth and tell this guy exactly that he's not who I think he's just, thank him and so finally I said, "Look, pal, I hate to do this, but what is your name?" And he said, "Eric Clapton." So 2 weeks later in Los Angeles, outside of town at the band's recording studio in, what's the name of that? The recording studio.
Shangri-La. Shangri-La.
Shangri-La, that's correct, Shangri-La. And so, now what the hell was I talking about?
Well, you had Eric, and he was in the studio with
All
the
right.
band.
Well, we could, he came out 2 weeks later to the studio, and he said, "Where's Kinky? We're going to do some recording." And so they added Levon Helm and Dr. John. It was a terrific band. And the only guy that the players seemed not to like was the recording executive that was there. And he shook hands with everybody, and Eric now I'm talking about. But then when this guy came by the table, he had 3 words for him. Eric had 3 words for the record executive, which were, "Piss off, mate." And but here's the song that came out of this with really with a children's twist to it. It's a children's song. And as my father once said, never say fuck in front of a CHILD. We're moving along.
Old Ben Lucas.
Yeah. So anybody who knows it, join us on this. Kiwi, right? Old Ben Lucas had a lot of mucus coming right out of his nose. He'd pick and pick till it made you sick, but back again it grows. When it's cotton picking time in Texas, boys, it's booger picking time for Ben. He'd raise that finger mean and hostile, stick it in that waiting nostril. Here he comes with the green one once again. All right, pick it, everybody. Old Ben Lucas had a lot of mucus coming right out of his nose. He'd pick and pick till it made you sick, but back again it grows. Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, let's look at some of these. Let's
Show it?
Yeah. You got it handy?
Got it.
There you go. That wasn't bad, was it? Following the dusty railroad track, carrying his clothes in a paper sack. Just another broken heart to fix, said the poet of Motel 6. Following the rusty railroad track, give you the shirt right off his back. Just another memory to mend, says the poet to his long-lost friend. Some folks may not know it, but there goes the poet who played the guitar with only 2 fingers. But his words and his music and his memory lingers. He'd stay up all night, he would drink and he would fight. But every song he'd write was the story of our lives. Some folks may not know it, but there goes the poet who played and sang and loved with all his mighty heart, till it broke apart. And may you lay in a field of stars, serenaded by a million guitars, playing songs of your honky-tonk youth, playing songs of your beautiful truth. Following the rusty railroad track, give you the shirt right off his back. just another Purple Heart to mend, says a poet to his long-lost friend. And then, one uncloudy day, God's voice was heard across the heavens. And this is what he said. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Billy Joe Shaver. What you got lined up, pal?
How about hello, good morning?
Too risky.
All right.
Oh, we could try it.
What about old five and dimers? Old five and dimers.
Yeah, it's a little bit too much of that.
All right.
And one more try.
Buddy, you're living my dream.
Oh, yeah, okay. It's like I blow my fucking head off, actually, watching it. This is called Buddy, You're Living My Dream. She liked the women and you liked the men. And that's where I thought that the story would end. But love conquers all, that's what they say, and tells the world to get out of the way. And buddy, you're dreaming, fuck. And buddy, you're living my dream. She loves you, or so it would seem. Now you're king of the castle, and she is your queen, and buddy, you're living my dream. With a tear and with a smile, I gave her away down the aisle. The two of them looked like a storybook. They'd beaten the odds for a while. Many months later, I knocked on his door. He wasn't living a dream anymore. The king of the castle lay dead on the floor. He'd taken his life, no sign of the wife, just a gun in his hand and a sorrowful note on the door. It said, buddy, you're living my dream. She loves you, or so it would seem. Now you're king of the castle, and she is your queen, and buddy, you're living my dream. Hey, let's find it. There's some here that get to. Casey?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. There you go. This is called Casey Needs a Song. What time is it? Or not what time is it, but I mean, it seems like an eternity. How long have we been up here?
Half an eternity.
What?
Half an eternity.
Enough cutesy stuff. Let's see what... You don't know how long. What else you got us? Me and my guitar?
Yeah.
This is called Me and My Guitar, which is kind of ironic because I only play in the key of D. And I don't think I've written a song that wasn't in the key of D. So you would think that would get pretty tedious pretty damn fast.
But it doesn't.
It doesn't, because Hank Williams was one of the people that only recorded in one key. That's all he ever used. That's all he knew, I guess. And that's in my case. And this is called Me and My Guitar. Key of D. Met her in a pawn shop, took her down to the local bar. Held her close to me, anyone could see. All I am is me and my guitar. People came to listen, some traveled from afar. They stood in line as if to find salvation in that bar. I told myself, there's just two things that got you where you are. All I am is me and my guitar. We traveled around this country, though she never had a name. Sometimes she was music, sometimes she was fame. But nothing lasts forever, like a steel string played too hard. And when it breaks, it sometimes takes your suitcase and your star. So I headed back down to the pawn shop, but I never got that far. I held her close to me, anyone could see. All I am is me and my guitar. We traveled around this country, though she never had a name. Sometimes she was music, sometimes she was fame. Now I play for all the people, dropping dollars in my jar. And all I am is me and my guitar. All I am is me and my guitar. What's it got? Let's get a couple of minutes. You want to try that one?
Which one?
The
Bench.
I like
Here's a song from your Peace Corps day.
From when?
Peace Corps.
Peace Corps.
Oh boy, that's gonna be tough.
Rapid City.
That's not the Peace Corps, boy.
Sold Man.
Well, we can hope for the best. How about that one?
Yeah.
Indeed.
Sold Man.
Yeah.
You do it.
You're keeping up pretty good there, Phil. This is what JFK, when he came out on the White House lawn to say goodbye to the Peace Corps kids who were on their way. And the kids, the people, not kids, but they were really a ragtag group. And, but they were the real thing. And also the real thing was who's the military group, the outstanding one that, the Green Berets, yeah. So the Green Berets also were that day that Kennedy brought in the Peace Corps, he brought in the, what the hell's the name of it? Green Berets. And I shouldn't say that because there are it's very interesting developments. I strongly suggest check either Peace Corps, I know it's not, it would be, what would it be? What could it be?
Talking about the Gold Star camp, Kinky?
Well, if you don't know who to contact, just call Ed Wolf, okay? Ed Wolf, 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 Wolf. And this is one thing about Ed, a perfect example, is we're not talking about people that are given all the money in the world, you know. That's not what this is. This is a guy who has a wife and kids and job and everything else that most of us do. I mean, I don't, you know. So I strongly recommend this, and I was saying that 2 years ago we were in full throttle with the Gold Star group. This year we're already way ahead of that, and we have a very nice group of Afghans that are going to be with us, and the kids, no adults, kids all the way around. I was going to tell you one thing about the damn match. Let's see. All right. Oh yeah. Okay. It's funny when things get. It's not that pleasant to listen to it for a long time, but there was a guy at Echo Hill who had volunteered. He was a volunteer, and he's this big military guy. And I walked across the flat, and I told him, you know, we really want to thank you for what you're doing. We know you're a volunteer and so forth, and that's really a very kind thing for you to be doing. And the guy said, he looked at me and he said, I'm doing it for Jesus. And I told him, well, I'm doing it for Moses, but that doesn't mean that. So believe it or not, that guy has brought a lot of help to the ranch. A big source of people that, you know, in the old days where the people, some of the, like they didn't charge you for the bills. That's what they're doing already around Kerrville, Hill Country, all of that area. It's pretty hard for us to pay somebody something for the hardware store or place. The thing is looking like it's going to be a real big success, and think about becoming part of it. Well, yeah, it's the first solid job I've ever had in my life. And actually, I guess you wouldn't call it a job. And you will see that the counselors are the ones with the tears in their eyes. And the kids have just lost somebody that's very dear to them and their family just recently. And they know how to play a poor hand well already, just automatically. You're not going to be able to tell the difference between the kids that have lost somebody and just kids having fun. So, and that's I recommend it highly. And I never thought I would be, I thought I would never be
Pisanthropist.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, we'll close out with I don't know. No, I think let's do
Gonna do that?
yeah, then maybe Jubilees.
All right. You don't. No.
Well, no, we're just yeah. I mean, we'll do this. All right. You're a very patient audience. I'll say that for you.
We wanted you to be governor.
But we are running. Are we running rather late? Oh shit. Okay. Let's. Yeah. Oh hell. Okay. Faded, jaded, fallen cowboy star. Pawn shops itching for your old guitar. Where you going ain't nobody knows. The sequins have fallen from your clothes. Once you heard the Opry crowd applaud. Now you're hanging out at 4th and Broad. On a rain-wept sidewalk, remembering the time when coffee with a friend was still a dime. And everything's been sold American. The early times is finished and the want ads all are read. Everyone's been sold American. Been dreaming dreams in a roll-away bed. Writing down your memoirs on some window in the frost. Roulette eyes reflecting another morning lost. Hauled in by the metro for killing time and pain. With a singing brakeman screaming through your veins. And everything's been sold American. The lonely night is mourning for the death that never died. Everyone's been sold American. Don't let me catch you laughing when the jukebox cries. You told me you were born so much higher than life, but I've seen the faded pictures of your children and your wife. Now they're fumbling through your wallet and they're trying to find your name. It's almost like they raised the price of fame. And everything's been sold American. No place to go and brother, no place to stay. Everyone's been sold American. Let heaven's golden greyhound roll your soul away. Let heaven's golden greyhound roll your soul away. Thank you. I'm gonna do the Thanks, folks. All right, folks, before we take it on down the road, I'd like to read to you a piece that is Texas Monthly finds one of their best pieces of all time. And coming from Texas Monthly, that's pretty good, I think. I think they hate my guts, but maybe they don't. That was a good job. So this is an article about my dad, and we've gotten a lot of requests for it. It's about my dad, who died some years back, but has convinced me that keep people that you love in the first person, if you can do it. That's what would be a great thing. This is called The Navigator. Because I'm the oldest living Jew in Texas who doesn't own real estate, and given my status in general as a colorful character, there are those who profess to be surprised that I ever indeed had a father or a mother. I assure you, I had both. Many years my parents owned and directed Echo Hill Ranch, a summer camp near Kerrville where I grew up, or maybe just got a little older. I remember my dad, Tom Friedman, talking to all the campers on Father's Day in the dining hall after lunch. Each summer they'd say essentially the same words. For those of you who are lucky enough to have a father, now's the time to remember him and let him know that you love him. Write a letter home today. Many years have passed since I last heard Tom's message to the kids. But love, I suppose, has no sell-by date. When my father was a young boy growing up in the Chicago of the late 20s, his first job was working for a Polish peddler. The man had a horse and cart that was loaded up with fruits and vegetables, and Tom sat on the very top. Through the streets and alleys of the old West Side they'd go, with the peddler crying his wares in at least 5 languages, and my father running the purchases up to the housewives who lived on the top floors of the tenement buildings. There were trolley cars then, colorful clotheslines strung across alleys like medieval banners. My father still remembers the word the peddler seemed to cry out more than any other. The word was kartoffel. It is Polish for potato. In November 1944, my mother, Minnie, gave birth to me in a manger somewhere on the south side of Chicago. I lived there 1 year, couldn't find work, and moved to Texas, where I haven't worked since. And all this time, my father was far away, fighting for his country and his wife, and a baby boy he might never see. Tom was a navigator in World War II, flying a heavy bomber for the 8th Air Force, the old B-24, also known as the Liberator, which in time it was. Tom's plane was called the I've Had It. He flew 35 successful missions over Germany, the last occurring on November 9, 1944, 2 days after he'd learned that he was a brand new father. As the navigator, the responsibility fell to him to bring the 10-man crew back safely. In retrospect, it's not terribly surprising that fate and the powers that be had selected Tom to be the navigator. He was the only one aboard the plane. He was the only one aboard the I've Had It who possessed a college degree. He was also the oldest man on the plane. He was 23 years old. After each successful mission, it was the custom to paint a small bomb on the side of the plane. In the rare instance of shooting down an enemy plane, a swastika was painted. When one incoming crew, however, accidentally hit a British runway maintenance worker, a small teacup was painted on the side of the plane, practically engendering an international incident. Tom was a hero in what he still refers to as the last good war. For his efforts, he received the Distinguished Flying Cross, the Air Medal, and 3 oak leaf clusters, and the heartfelt gratitude of his crew. Yet the commanding officer's first words to Tom and his young compatriots had not been wrong. The CO had told them to look at the man on their right, look at the man on their left. When you return, he had said, they will not be here. This dire prophecy proved to be almost correct. The mighty Eighth suffered a grievous attrition rate during the height of the war. After the war, Tom and Min settled in Houston, where Tom pioneered in community actions. Min became one of the very first speech therapists in the Houston public schools. In the late 50s, I moved to Austin, where Tom was a professor of educational psychology at the University of Texas. It was in 1953, however, that my parents made possibly their greatest. You got anything to kill that feedback back?
You cut some of the monitor noise?
Yeah, okay. It was in 1953, however, that my parents made possibly their greatest contribution to children far and wide by opening Echo Hill Ranch. My mother passed away in 1985, but Tom, known as Uncle Tom to the kids, still runs the ken. Like most true war heroes, Tom rarely talks about the war. My sister once saw Tom sitting alone in a darkened room and asked, "Is everything all right, Father?" To this, Tom replied, "The last time everything was all right was August 14th, 1945. That was the day Japan surrendered." On a recent trip to O'Hare Airport in Chicago, I commandeered a limo and drove through the area where Tom had grown up. Can you work on this? Or see what you can do.
Try cutting all the monitor out.
On a recent trip to O'Hare Airport in Chicago, I commandeered a limo and drove through the area where Tom had grown up. There were slums and suburbs and Starbucks, but the trolley cars and the clotheslines and the peddler with his horse and cart were gone. "Kartoffel," I said to the limo driver, but he just looked straight ahead. Either he wasn't Polish or he didn't want any potatoes. Today, Tom lives in Austin with his new wife, Edith Kruger, 2 dogs, Sam and Perky. He has 3 children and 3 grandchildren. He eats lunch at the Frisco, still plays tennis with his old pals. He did not, as he contends, teach me everything I know. Only almost everything. He taught me tennis. He taught me chess. He taught me how to belch. He taught me to always stand up for the underdog. He taught me the importance of treating children like adults and adults like children. He's a significant American because by his example, his spirit, and his unseen hand, he's guided children of all ages safely through the winding, often torturous courses of their lives. One of them was me. Tom's war is long over. Indeed, the whole era seems gone, like the crews who never came home, lost forever among the salt shaker stars. And yet, when the future may look its darkest, there sometimes occurs an oddly comforting moment when, with awkward grace, the shadow of a silver plane flies inexplicably close to my heart. One more mission for the Navigator.
Y'all get a big hand to Kinky Friedman. Y'all come see him at the merge table. He'll sign anything.